surrounded by so many companies, and we work with like 3,000 companies as well.
A lot of talk about international students and things are changing. Are you worried about these changes?
What piece of advice might help them get accepted and get an offer from the University of Westminster?
If they want to start in the coming September, but they're not finishing their degree until June, July, that's fine. We would just make a conditional offer.
Hello and welcome to our SAG podcast. This is the first episode of SAG podcast, and we are happy to welcome our guest Martyn. Martyn, would you introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hello, Elias. Yeah, lovely to be here at this beautiful location. So my name is Martyn Davis from the University of Westminster, British Public University in the city centre of London. So yeah, very close to where everything happens in the city.
Okay, interesting. So would you please tell us more and our students more about the University of Westminster?
Sure. So we have around 19,000 students that study with us. We're regularly in the top 100 for International Outlook. That comes with the number of international students we have and the international opportunities our students have and the lectures that are teaching and the overall mindset and teaching method. It's about making our students employable on a global scale. So of our 19,000 students, about 7,000 are international on average each year from 160 different countries, from across the Middle East, Asia, Africa, Europe. So it's a real melting pot of everyone, like the City of London, which is why many students come to London anyway, and our university reflects the experience of being in London itself, which is what they love.
And the campus is so central.
Yeah, so
Students
central.
love it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we have 3 central London campuses where like business is taught, international relations, computer science, all within a 5-10 minute walk from the major shopping district streets of Oxford Street, Soho with the cafes and bars and restaurants, and then you have major British major London museums and so on. And of course what that also brings is a wealth of professional opportunity, because we're surrounded by so many companies and we work with like 3,000 companies as well that our students at both undergraduate and postgraduate can make the most of and utilize.
Yeah, actually one of our students, she was mentioning exactly that and why she chose Westminster and how connected the university is to companies, and how helped her to practice more, not just working on the theory part in the course.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is, from my experience, a big pull for a lot of international students to come to the UK over other destinations, for example, because of the practical nature of the teaching experience. And again, my institution follows that lead. Our students can take up, short-term internships, work placements, whether it's for a month or if they're doing an undergraduate for a full year, which are paid normally. Our students being here, they do a lot of field trips, like I know some of the students that you've spoken to that have studied at Westminster, they've told you about, whether that's architecture, finance, architecture going to Tower of London, finance going to Bloomberg Financial Suite, Bank of England, and so on. So really huge multinational recognised companies, and our students learn from the experts about what they need to do and what the trends are in those industries in real time, in amongst the madness, the great madness, the fun of being in London itself.
Yeah, it makes sense even for students, because they didn't come just for the course.
Exactly.
And you mentioned few majors. What are the let's say the best ranked 3 majors in the university? Westminster?
Good question. So communication and media always ranks very highly, and nationally, internationally. Also tourism is a strong point of the university, as well as architecture, which is recognised around the world at both undergraduate and postgraduate, plus programs like finance, investment, risk finance, obviously being so well connected to the City of London, the world's major financial sectors and trading markets. It's a great place to develop and progress professionally in many different areas.
And are these the same 3 majors that are the first 3 choices for international students, or there are other majors that are very popular among international students?
Those tend to be the most popular. So right now, the highest number of international students on specific courses are our undergraduate business and management, which is like a general business and management, plus marketing specialisms, also architecture, computer science. We have a number of artificial intelligence courses in that realm, which is growing. And then also for masters, the MBA is really popular with international students. These are all, for our master's courses, they're all 1 year master's courses studied full time, but there are options to do an additional year of placement here in London for example, MBA or international business and management. So there's our students or prospective students have an option to choose which kind of pathway if they want to have that extra work experience.
Yeah. And let's say if speaking about fields, let's say if I was a student and I'm pretty much lost.
Yeah.
Undergrad, still haven't studied in university, but I really like University of Westminster, what I've seen, in the very vibrant city of London. But I'm very lost when it comes to the field and the majors. How can the University of Westminster help students navigate their options when it comes to the different fields that it offers?
Yeah, very good question. There's kind of two sides. So the university itself, we have a lot of public-facing websites that show all the courses that we offer and so on, and general help, and YouTube channels will give guidance of that. And there's also, of course, international agents, Study Abroad Global, who are professionally recognised and accredited, whether that's through the British Council training, also our internal training that we do for our representatives in country. And the great thing about international agents like SAG, Study Abroad Global, is they know not just Westminster, they work with many universities in the UK, and they can find out whether the courses that we offer or other universities offer is the best option for them. So yeah, our website, but also if they want to speak in country face to face, that's where Study Abroad Global or international agents that are recognised come into real
in addition to the fairs you attend when
and
you
the
go
fairs,
to a country.
Fortunately, I get to come to amazing countries around the world, like Algeria and Morocco, and I meet students face to face, whether they're with their parents, with friends, or just by themselves, and give them face-to-face advice. And then we continue communication, guiding them along with the counsellors at SAG. It's a great way to alleviate some fears and then stay in contact if they need further help.
So, we through the journey for our students or students in international students in general, they have 3 phases of the process. The first process is, let's say, pre-arrival to the university, the application process, visa application, and I think many students use educational agencies, or they just navigate the process themselves, and then they usually complain about how difficult is the process, and they manage to overcome all of that. And then they arrive to the university, and then the university needs to help them, usually about, I'm not sure how, which projects or facilities they help them to adopt during the first few months, because that's the most difficult part for students when they come and arrive to the UK.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's a great adventure, but it's also the unknown for a lot of people. So those first weeks, months are key. We're very aware of that. We run a number of events. For example, we have an international welcome week for all of our international students before they enroll in their course and start their studies, where we have internal speakers like from the careers team, the admissions team, also from current students and student union. But then we have external speakers from Transport for London, helping our students get acclimatised to moving around the city, set up their own bank account. Obviously, they want to have that here in the UK, start working, and local police. So if they want to get guidance on, safety advice in the city, these kind of things. So there's a package or matrix of care specific to international students to help them acclimatise to general change within the university, of course, studying in a British university and being in London and the UK. So that's all in the first couple of weeks before they start their course, make their friends through their course, and join societies for whatever they're interested in.
So before the academic integration, there's the social integration into the city, which the university helps them with pretty much. So that's what's
That's
This
exact-
the initiative that's the initiative that the university has taken, right?
exactly, yeah. So
Mhm.
a number of talks within the university, some external social events, walking tours around the campus and around because we're in an amazing location, so there's lots of interesting things to see.
Especially in London.
Yeah, so it's a great way for people to make friends and acclimatise in before they've acclimatised to the new course and so on. But that help there is from day one. We help them apply for jobs, find suitable jobs for their career path. Maybe they just want a part-time job, or they want to work for the university as a student ambassador, which is well paid. So there's quite a lot that we want our students to make the most of as early as possible.
Yeah, speaking of the students ambassador, do you also do some sort of like students helping students during this process, because sometimes they are very more familiar with the students and especially from their home countries? What do you have any projects in mind that you use with your ambassadors in terms of integrating or helping the new students when they arrive?
Yeah, so we have a buddy scheme. We call it Friends of Arriving New Students, which is exactly as you say, designed to guide new students starting with the help of current students who are studying their course or are from their country or their region, who understand maybe some initial questions they have or concerns, but it's all there to help them acclimatise. Plus then, as well as the student help that they get through the Friends of Arriving New Students, each student is assigned a personal tutor who is there to be with them all throughout their study experience, alongside their course and module academics, to help them if they need help with assignments, if they're having something personal going on that needs the next bit of help from the university. There's a bit of extra help from the teaching staff along with the current students in the form of the ambassadors or Friends of Arriving New Students.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
It is, yeah. There's a real support system.
Yeah.
And we know that things are changing from the UKVI. A lot of talk about international students, and things are changing, and a lot of international students are worried about these changes. I assume the university is the same. And how are you aligning with all the AQF and UKVI requirements?
Yeah, it's you're right. There's been a lot of change, but it's a necessary change that all UK institutions we have to follow. Of course, it's all designed to make sure the process is transparent, and that, for example, international students are getting advice and services and support from trusted international agents. So it does serve a purpose. So agents and counsellors who have done British Council training, who are contracted to the university, like SAG, that's a way that we make sure that prospective students are only using counsellors to consider joining us with companies or organisations that we know and trust. And for example, I myself, I go to fairs in Algeria, for example, and when I meet counsellors, I also give them updates of what's going on at the university, and we share updates within the university and any changes. We need to make sure everything's in place. And we have an internal database through a company called Train Hub, where we have internal training that our counsellors have to do, as well as the British Council training. So it's a thorough process to make sure everyone is up to date with what's required in the UK and the changes that are happening.
Yeah, true. I think the training is really necessary for every educational consultant to be able to really give quality of support to international students, because students who use educational agencies or consultants, they go there with trust, and I think the type of training that helps them really to be qualified to give the advices for students.
Agree.
Yeah, so
actually I have a question. Let's say, okay, the student has come, he is doing his studies in the University of Westminster and is approaching graduation. And of course, after graduation comes like looking for jobs and stuff. Does the University of Westminster offer them workshops or like little fairs, let's say, like where they bring professionals and like offer them, like, let's say, internships? Or like how do they help them?
Yeah, very good question. So we run graduate careers fairs all throughout the year. all designed to get our students networking with key recruiters, people that want to share their insight into the industry. So we have graduate careers fairs for the law industry, for international relations, whether that's a law firm or embassy or international multinational companies, or the finance industry. It's all designed for our students to make those connections and know when if there's an internship opportunity coming up, and also once they graduate to then be in a position to go for it straight away. The advice that we give, it's obviously a big challenge to do a master's or undergraduate, but to get involved in anything as soon as possible, as soon as they study, get any kind of experience, because everything helps.
Exactly.
A lot of the students, as you know, are very capable. They've got work experience, but employers in the UK understandably want to see, okay, but does this individual have any experience in the UK?
Yeah, sure.
So any kind of work experience they can do through our graduate careers fairs, short internships, industry field trips, it all helps build their CV. So once they graduate, they've got the 18 months that they can choose to stay in the UK, working full time without any limits. Hopefully they're in a good position. And we also, as well as like working with 3,000 companies, we have 3,000 companies, across all of our courses. There's a how do I say, like a company called Student Circus that advertises just jobs that have companies that have a license to sponsor. Okay. So for our international students, we get them involved in that, and we say we'll share jobs here, and also keep an eye out for anything with this company, because we know that they actually have a license to sponsor them if they want to stay beyond their post-study work visa, working in the UK.
Oh, that's really
it's
really great support.
Exactly, and on the other side, let's say students who are actually starting their procedures now, and like they want to apply to the University of Westminster, what piece of advice you would give them so that it might help them get accepted and get an offer from the University of Westminster? Like, is it about the application? Is it about the cover letter? Like, what do you guys focus on mainly?
Good question. I mean, personal depending on the course, everyone is required to have a personal statement, which does support the quality and of the application itself. The grades, of course, are key. Normally, for us at Westminster, anyone who is studying a qualification that is recognised but hasn't finished it, we will consider them, and then it would be a conditional offer to start with. If they want to start in the coming September, but they're not finishing their degree until June, July, that's fine. We would just make a conditional offer, and mainly for them to also be ready to take that English test, like an IELTS. They don't need to have their English test when they apply, but just to be aware that they'll need to take that. I'd also say just the advice is to make sure they're aware of emails that come in from the university. I know a lot of students, apply to multiple universities, so it can be difficult keeping up, but it's very important that they stay aware, so that they don't miss deadlines and so on. And also obviously, of course, the counsellors, that's a big part of the job, and they're there to support students throughout the application process. We at the university, we try to, and we do support them, but the counsellors are there on it the whole time. So that's where they're really come into their own, like at SAG and so on. Thank
you so much for answering these questions. I'm pretty sure that they are really important for students to know. Of course,
for students, for other educational agents as well.
Exactly,
And thank you very much, Martyn. That was really helpful and insightful.
Well, thank you both very much for having me. It's been nice to speak, and hopefully it's helpful to some prospective students.
No, I should thank you again for coming on Sunday.
Oh
yes.
Sunday evening.
Well, it's a beautiful spot, so
it is,
and I like you, so it's okay.
So we enjoyed the view at least.
It
was worth it.
It's worth it.
So we came to an end for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, and looking forward to share with you more about our university partners, international students sharing their experience of studying in the UK, and other educational consultants also showing how they help international students. Looking forward for the next episode.